Welcome back, guys, to the North American Tournament of Legends 3 hosted by DPS. I am Hurix, joined here by Storm. We do have the first semifinal match for you today. We actually corrected our brackets for you in the meantime there. This first match is going to be the Abjured versus Little People Big World here. We're going to go ahead and get right into the game cams here. We don't want to take any more of your guys' time away from the action here, so we're going to go straight into the builds. We're going to look first here at Nos. Nos is going to be running a well build as usual here. He's going to be running Staff, Dagger, Warhorn with Rune of the Pack and Berserker Amulet. He's going to be taking 62006 here with Death's Embrace. Moving on now to Wakey. Wakey's going to be taking Shoutbow here. He's going to be running with Rune of the Soldier, Celestial Amulet, of course, with 10463 as his trait setup. Now going on to Fanaram. Fanaram's going to be running Mediguard with the Hammer Scepter Focus here. He's going to be running with Pack Runes, and he's going to be running the trait setup of 01616. Next, we do have 5-gauge. 5-gauge going to be running Selly Rifle with Rune of the Holebrack with the trait setup of 60044, running that Slick Shoes there. And lastly, we do have Magic Toker here, a.k.a. Dustin, going to be running Panic Strike with Rune of the Vampirism, of course, the traits being 60206. Why don't you take the blue team's builds away for us, Storm?
Take a look at Song. He's going to be playing the Shoutbow Warrior for this team with the Sword, Warhorn running with the Longbow, Soldier Runes running 10463. Edmonton going to be playing the Mediguard for this team. He is known for playing not Hammer. He's going to be with the Great Sword Focus running with the Pack Runes running 01616. Next up we got Chudat. He's going to be playing Ellie for this team with the DD. Looks like he's running Hullbreak Runes running with the Selly Amulet 00266 for his traits. Next up we got Crazy. He's going to be the Mesmer for this team running with the Great Sword Torch with the Pack Runes. He's going to be running 44006. And finally, we got Edison playing the Thief for this team, running the DP Shortbow Vamp Runes and running 60206.
All right, why don't we go ahead and get everybody ready up so we can get right underway with the first semifinal match today of the North American Tournament of Legends 3 here, once again hosted by DPS. So obviously in this matchup, it's the 1 versus the 4 here. Expect to see Abjured taking this fairly handily here. And I mean, I'm not sure if I'm expecting an upset, you know? I don't know how you feel about it.
I'm not expecting an upset whatsoever. Abjured's so strong. I think they're going to take this pretty easily for the most part. I mean, there's definitely some notable players, some really good players for that matter, on this blue team. But I think the coordination, the longevity, you know, how long the Abjured have been together really just outweighs any factor that the blue team can bring into this match.
Yeah, it looks like we're just waiting on a couple members of the blue team to ready up. But this is going to be a pretty big game for them here. Abjured, like you say, is obviously, as everyone knows, the most dominant team in North America. Favored to win this entire tournament, take this in the finals. I mean, they've been winning ESLs straight for about 25, 26 weeks now in a row. Last time they were actually beaten was by the Absurd, a team that Cade was actually on, as well as a few other prominent members of the PvP community that have been around in this tournament as well, not to name any names. But if we look at it right now, you know, I have to say that this is going to be pretty handily taken by the Abjured here. Probably going to be seeing probably about like 500, 100, I would have to say. Moving into Legacy, probably going to see the same exact result as well there. You know, I hate to be negative about these teams who come in and do such a good job, but just nobody's really been able to figure out how to really take down the Abjured and pull it off. I mean, whether it be mistakes or whether it be something wrong with their composition or anything that they're deciding to do as a team with their strats, there's just nobody been able to really figure it out here. So as we look at it right now, we do have the splits here. 4 members of each team crossing right now. We actually see the SR come out, and we do see red team actually seeing Abjured able to see that SR in time there before they really throw anything down themselves, and they're able to get some pressure down onto members of the blue team, especially Crazy here. However, they do drop the burst down onto Toker here. Toker in downstate now. Fanaram, the only one near to give any support. However, obviously not enough as Toker does die out here. Looks like Fanaram taking a lot of damage as well here.
Fanaram has no cooldowns aside from RF. He is going to be forced to use it right here. Good burst coming out from this blue team. Song, though, at the midpoint, is taking into the downstate. Nos going to get that Plague Stomp. He's going to solidify that for his team. Fanaram taken out as well, so blue team, really strong opening. Edmonton taken into the downstate. Are we going to see the stomp come out? Looks like Wakey and Toker are going to bleed him out here. Edison almost down as well. Vampirin's going to pop. Looks like they are going to take him into the down state. You know, good start from this blue team, but not enough to win the first team fight.
Yeah, they did a great job with that opener. They're able to recover, but you know they just didn't get enough out of it. Obviously, with Song dying out fairly early on, Nos getting that stomp out, you know they weren't really able to take the advantage that they had over this Abjured team and really get anything out of it. And because of that, Abjured already with the 2-cap looking like they have full control of the map. As you look at the mini map, actually you can actually see Red Team basically surrounding their camp here, their base here from spawn, and we actually see all members of Blue Team port into the keep here where they do actually get the decap. So great play from them there. If they're able to take down Wakey very quickly before other members of the Red Team can get in, this will be huge for them. However, it looks like they're deciding to switch over to Nos right now. Crazy kind of forced to peel out a little bit here as he does still have Moa up. However, we actually see Song being bursted down here. So once again, Abjured taking another fight as Blue Team is forced to kind of come out and leave that
Edison,
stage there.
though. Edison right off a respawn, able to get the decap at the mine. They still have the decap at the midpoint, so definitely, you know, we haven't seen a total dominance coming out from the Abjured yet, which is definitely when they start to take over games. We'll have to see if we're going to see Crazy going to the downstate. He's getting super low. He's going to get his, oh no, he doesn't get his heal off. Faneram able to get the mighty blow and take him into the downstate there. That's really strong for them as they're trying to assault the mine point, but just not really working out for them. We're probably going to see the 2-cap going in favor of the Abjured, and this is really where they start to show their dominance.
Yeah, I mean, this Blue Team definitely is still close. Little People, Big World. Actually, fairly surprising, at least in my eyes. Doing a pretty good job of staying in the game here, but as you say, this is really where the Abjured start gaining the momentum and really turn it to him here, especially if Wakey can sustain in this 2v1, actually a 3v1 here. It looks like he's going to potentially be able to pull out long enough for Nos as well as 5-Gauge to move right on in here. So this is going to be a 3v2 in favor of the Abjured now, as they are not able to really get anything out of that 3v1 that they just had. They actually almost take Edmonton out completely here. Looks like he's trying to get something going for himself, get out of that fight there, but Nos is all over him right now. We actually see Phantom joining in here as we see Edmonton so low trying to get out here. Greatsword leaps out of there. Looks like Phantom not going to fall for the time being. However, we're going to see 5-Gauge doing just that.
Edmonton able to get out of there, though. Nos going to be able to
not
take
for
him
long.
down. And it looks like, look, Crazy able to get the decap with Judah over at the mine point, so they're going to play for the sides. Bailing out of mid is a pretty smart move. You said a 500 to 100. Well, we already see Little People, Big World over the 100-point mark, so they can definitely put out a fight here. We'll have to see if they're able to take the 2-caps. We have 5-Gauge and Phantom making their way over the mine to take on the 2v2. It's definitely comp-wise favoring the Abjured here. Crazy under a lot of heat. We'll have to see if they're going to send in any more of these members to support this fight over at the mine point.
Looks like all the pressure being dropped down onto Edmonton. Edmonton trying to get out of there, but it looks like Toker is all over him. Does actually bring him down there, so he's going to be left to bleed once again. However, the banner comes out. That's the second res for Edmonton now. Edmonton just trying to get away, trying to fight for dear life here. Anything going for himself. However, he is probably going to drop again, and he does indeed. Looks like Nos trying to get the stomp going for a second there, but decides to instead go for the cleave here, and they actually do manage to, with that, take yet another kill here. Potentially going to be able to take out Song as well, as he is very, very low, and just trying to get to Henge here where he doesn't have much room to run, and Nos does go ahead and take him out. So here it is, a decap on the Henge node where, you know, Abjured already has control over the mine node, as we saw on the screen. So this is going to be a 3-cap if Blue Team can't get anything going. However,
Song
getting
blood out.
We do have that decap coming in from the Blue Team.
Yeah, the 3-cap definitely going to be coming out, or 2-cap. There's the 3-cap, but we're going to see the Edison going to get that decap at the keep point. And the Abjured just kind of roaming free right now. We do see 3 members of this Blue Team heading out of the beach. We'll have to see if they're going to get caught. Crazy, just absolutely annihilated by Toker and Phantom there. We're going to see Edison going for the mine point. This is where we see the Abjured shine. You know, as soon as they start to split up these teams, it's basically impossible for them to get back into the game.
Yeah, I have to completely agree here. And it really just comes down to stringing the members of this Blue Team out. I mean, Abjured is really, really strong at doing that, stringing teams out, getting them into 3v1s and just really training them down and getting these teams off of staggered respawns and, you know, really taking advantage of those favorable situations. We actually see yet another one starting here with Nos on the point on mine here. We actually see Edmonton trying to get something going for him. Didn't land a whole lot of his opening burst there. Nos trying to get something going as well. Looks like they're pretty evenly matched here. However, we actually see Song just to the side here actually taken down by members of the Abjured here. Looks like he's going to go ahead and get cleaved out as well. We actually see, I believe that's Edmonton trying to get something going here with a res, but there's going to definitely be far too much cleave for him to even try for that, so he's going to stealth out and try to walk away. Song going to be bled out here, as so is Edmonton there off screen.
Yeah, and we still see all of these members for Little People Big World, all very staggered. You know, despite a pretty decent opening, they were only down about 50 points a few minutes into the game. What is it, about 150 to 100? So a pretty solid opening for Little People Big World. But as soon as the Abjured get that little upper hand, they start to spread you out and stagger the respawns. It's just basically a good game, and it's very hard for people to get back into it. And especially for a team like Little People Big World, you know, they got some strong players, but ultimately the Abjured just able to power through them and probably going to be moving on into a game number 2 up 1-0.
They definitely did a little bit better in the rotations than I expected. I mean, like I said before, I expected to kind of see like a 500 to 100. I think we're going to be seeing something a little bit closer to a 500 to 250 or something like that. We actually see blue team swarming Toker right now as well. Here, and they're going to be going ahead and getting this hinge node once again back in their control. They kept it over Toker. They were able to make sure that they didn't lose it there, so that was a great job from them securing that node, forcing Toker out of it. But however, once again, look at the map. Red team swarming in here. Abjured is all over this right now, looking for a spot to condense on right now. It looks like they do find a spot here. The ring does go off on Song. Wells are being dropped here. Damage is being dropped onto Song, who is forced to try to leap out here. And it looks like he's going to get pulled yet again here, and he's going to be loaded with condies. Song's going to be dropping into the downstate. Looks like all members of Red Team except for Wakey Face looking very healthy. But, you know, obviously with Wakey being a shot warrior, he does have a decent amount of long-term sustain. So if he can just manage to get his shots off, he's going to be fine as well. And especially with multiple members of the blue team dropping out here, you know, he's definitely going to be safe. However, if we look right now at the mine node, we actually see I'm Behind You Law getting yet again another decap. So great job from him getting at least something going for his team, but obviously not going to be too much here, as 5Gauge is going to stroll in and get the full cap back. However, I'm Behind You Law is going to go for the keep now as well. It looks like Toker going to be able to get there soon enough to potentially stop the decap. However, it looks like he's not even really going to be going for it at the moment.
Yeah, Edison has really been on top of decaps this game, doing a great job of getting around the map. But unfortunately for him, that's really all he can be doing, seeing his team has really found it difficult to actually get a full, you know, team fight. For that matter, they are trying to fight over at the hinge point, but not looking too good. As Song going to be loaded with the condies coming out from Nos and company, going to be taken into the downstate. They're trying to make a push for the midpoint. We're going to see the, you know, there's contention coming out from Edmonton at mid. We're going to see the full cap coming out from Edison once again over at the mine point. You know, they're probably just going to be around 200 points rather than that 100-point prediction coming out from you. But definitely going to see the Abjured taking this game number 1.
Yeah, absolutely, and I definitely expect him to take potentially a couple more kills before then. However, a good escape portal there is dropped by Crazy to ensure that his team does actually get out, and it looks like they're going to be able to get some pressure down onto Nos. However, Nos does go into Plague, so he's going to be fairly safe, especially as Toker comes in to put some offensive pressure down onto Crazy here, negating a little bit of damage output that he would have been able to freely cast there. And there we have it, 501 to 210. Abjured taking it 1-0 over Little People Big World in the first matchup here of the semifinals of the North American Tournament Legends 3 hosted by DPS. And, I mean, obviously, I kind of expected Abjured to be a little bit more dominant in that. However, if we look at the individual scores, obviously we can tell that, you know, a lot of kill pressure, a lot of downstates created by the Abjured, obviously handedly taking most of those team fights there, if not all of them. And I mean, doing a great job of doing what Abjured does best and taking another W.
Yeah, really good game from the Abjured, able to take that 1-0 lead. I expect the same thing on Legacy, if not in more dominant fashion, as this is typically what they'll do. They'll, you know, there's a little bit of leeway. You'll see them, you know, give the other team, or not give, the other team actually earn, you know, 100, 200 points on Forest, and then come Legacy that's just, you know, nearly a 500, 100, or even a 550 point win for the Abjured. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen on Legacy.
Yeah, I have to agree. It looks like all members of both teams are just about into their spots here. So why don't we go ahead and get into the game cams? I don't really kind of expect anybody to make any changes here. I mean, both of these teams are pretty set in stone. I mean, the only thing we ever really see from the side of Abjured is sometimes you see Nas taking up the Soldier Amulet. Sometimes you take, sometimes you expect Nas to be taking the Soldier Amulet, and it looks like right now he is going to opt for that Soldier Amulet, which is good for his team. Obviously he's going to be able to sustain a little bit of pressure there, so that's good for him. And we actually do see him taking that, especially against a lot of these comms that come out with a lot of stealth pressure, able to get a big burst opening on him, so he's able to stay alive at least through that and get something going, at least go into play or something for his team to be able to get some peels off. 5 gauge sometimes opts for that 6 and alchemy build. Obviously he's not doing that this time around, but those are really the only changes we ever really see this Abjured team take, at least as of late. I don't really see anything happening from the side of this blue team. We're just waiting on everybody to go ahead and ready up. What are your predictions here? Since I made the last ones, I was a little bit wrong, but I did make the right decision. But what do you expect to see from this matchup here, Storm?
Oh, the Abjured definitely taking this one, no doubt. I think more or less it's about the third place match for this blue team for Little People Big World. I think this one is, I'm sure they came into this, thinking, hey, let's just try and put up as many points as we can on stream against the Abjured. As a lot of teams that, aren't as confident against them are possibly doing that. Obviously, there is a third place match, so they're probably looking forward to seeing how well they can do in that. As I think there is a 2,000 gem difference for third and fourth place matches, if I'm not mistaken. So ultimately, I think the Abjured are going to take this one pretty easily and move on into the finals.
Yeah, I have to agree. So, looking at this right here, I mean, what do you expect to see a very aggressive startup in the split? Like we saw last time, where we saw 4 members of both teams stealthing up, getting something going there, and potentially splitting off from there. Do you see kind of the same thing happening in this matchup? Maybe perhaps 4 members of each team going over to that midpoint and getting something going real big time onto that graveyard node, or what do you kind of expect to see from both of these teams, at least in the splits here?
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Abjured send, like 4 of their people in stealth again over to the midpoint, try and blow somebody up. That's typically what they like to do with this team comp that they have. 3-node splits aren't generally in their favor since they're only running 2 Selly. So we'll have to see what they're able to do with this. As for Little People Big World, I'm expecting a burst play once again from their comp as well. So probably the standard opening that they had in the last series, or the last match.
All right, and it looks like this match is just about underway here. We have everybody ready to go here. So in 10 seconds, we will have the opening splits of Game 2 of the first semifinal match here for the North American Tournament of Legends 3, once again hosted by Digital Pro Sports. So why don't we go ahead and look at the splits? What are we seeing here, Storm?
Let's take a look as the final seconds are ticking down before this game does begin. Let's see. Well, it looks like the Abjured are going to be sending 5 of their members out of the front gate, not opting to go for that home node. They're probably going to push for the waterfall and the graveyard. Looks like we are going to see some stealth play coming out from both teams for that matter. But it looks like we're going to see Little People Big World trying to make a push for the quarry. Not going to find anyone, so they're going to be in a heap of trouble when they don't see anyone even at that node. They're going to drop down, so that's going to hurt them. Let's take a look at what's going on at the waterfall.
At the waterfall here, we actually see Song being pressured out as 3 members of the Abjured take him out completely here. Looks like they're going to pull off and go ahead and help out at this mid-fight, where we actually see Wakey and 5 Gauge taking on Chudat. We actually see behind Yulo coming in right now to try to get some support, maybe get some damage pressure onto Wakey. However, it's not looking like he's really getting anything going for himself at the time being, so we're going to see 4 members of the Abjured here getting ready to put some huge pressure down onto Chudat. Chudat able to get a little bit of a port there to keep himself alive for the time being. However, Toker is all over him right now, and it looks like for the time being he's not in a good spot right now against this wall here.
Yeah, we do see the only cap. Okay, so there we have the Abjured taking that waterfall node back at the mid, though. Chudat under a lot of pressure, has no cooldowns. Toker and Vanaram all over him. He's going to get...
Vanaram does go down.
Shadow Refuge coming out.
Banner does come
coming
down
out,
from
able to
both.
get Fanaram back
Oh,
up.
actually, that is a
Shoot at,
vapor.
though.
That is a vapor. Able to get into the portal there. It looks like Crazy. Able to pick up Shoot at Song coming through as well. Looks like all members of the blue team able to get over there. However, red team, the Abjured, able to see that and react very quickly there, taking out Crazy in the process. We actually see I'm Behind You All very, very low as well. He's going to be able to heal just kind of like sitting in stealth right now, trying to get something going for himself. Not really able to get a whole lot of efficacy out of his role so far in this game here. We actually see Shootout taken down once again by members of the Abjured. And off screen, we do see Edmonton getting a decap in that picture-in-picture there from the Abjured onto that waterfall node as well. So once again, a great job from this blue team taking advantage of some of the unfortunate spots that they get themselves into and securing a 2-cap here and staying in the game despite their loss in all of these team fights.
Yeah, and we're going to see the Abjured. Looks like they're going to force the blue team off that quarry node. Going to be taking this 2-cap here. Interested to see what we're going to see Little People Big World do now as they have to regroup, waiting for a couple of their members to get off a respawn. Song just about to be bled out right now, so he's not going to be up for another 15 seconds. And then getting to a node that's going to be another 10 seconds, so they've got quite a while before they can get a full regroup down to a point. Ultimately, it's worth it. They need to wait for Song to get back up into a fight.
Yeah, they really do, because they're definitely not going to be winning any 4v5s. They're still, for the most part, in this match right now, especially if they can secure this, and Crazy does manage to get onto that point to make sure that that doesn't get decapped there, but I have to expect that in a moment's time it will. However, it looks like Chudat able to secure that as well. So great job from the blue team making sure that they maintain control of that node. However, Edmonton does go into downstate because of their inability to get off of that, so Abjured taking yet another kill here if they're able to put down some cleave, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get it. They are not able to get off enough cleave there, so blue team is able to get their teammate back up. Crazy looking to try to get some momentum going for himself and get out of this fight here, maybe get a decap. Portal does come out, so he's going to go back towards the spawn where Toker right now is actually taken into the downstate on the portal here. Song and Shootout all over him. It looks like Emin trying to make some moves as well. Toker ports off right now, and it looks like red team trying everything they can to get their teammate up right now, and Wakey looking pretty healthy as three members of the Abjured are able to get their teammate back up and pressure this SR where I'm Behind You Law is very, very low, and it looks like Edmonton actually probably going to be dropped here on the graveyard, and he does indeed get dropped there.
Yeah, the Abjured are going to get this full cap at the midpoint, but over at the quarry we're going to see Chudat making a push for that. Have to see, is he going to get the decap? Oh, Toker does get on the point at the last second, able to make sure that they do not get that decap. We'll have to see if he stealths up and allows for Chudat to get it. He's going to need some support. Toker knocked up the point. They do get the decap here. Chudat doing a great job. Wakey going to be plussing this fight. We do see the cap going in favor of Little People Big World over at the waterfall. Chudat trying to get out of this quarry node. Needs some support to get out of here, but not looking too bad at this stage of the game.
Yeah, as we float over to this waterfall node, actually, we can actually see that, Nos is actually pretty low right now. Nos being pressured pretty hard right here. Crazy doing a great job of putting down some range pressure onto him. However, Abjured just proving to be a little bit too much there with their Silly Cleave coming out from, Zerker Cleave coming out from Fanaram and Nos with the added pressure of 5-gauge there, taking down Song completely here and actually cleaving him out as well. Crazy not able to even get close to that, as all the damage coming out from this Abjured comp is far too much. Looks like Fanaram going to stick around and get that full cap. However, probably going to be in a little 2v1 here with Crazy, as we actually see a little fight developing on this graveyard where once again Toker is in a 1v1 trying to hold versus Chudat, the Ellie from this blue team here. Little People Big World.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Toker is going to get plussed by 5-gauge at the midpoint. Taking a look at the waterfall, though, we do see red team taking that cap, so they're going to be holding on to a 3-cap right now. This is really where they're going to start dominating and probably not allow for this Little People Big World team to actually take a point from here on out. Crazy is going to go into the downstate over at the waterfall, at the quarry, though. Edmonton forced out of there, so we're going to see them. The Abjured that is kind of forcing Little People Big World off of all the nodes. The decap coming out at the waterfall, though, that's going to help them try to get a point, but ultimately the Abjured just kind of, doing what they want at this stage of the game.
Yeah, I have to say that although Abjured is looking extremely solid, as you say, I have to give it to this Little People Big World team. I mean, they're taking members down. They're doing pretty good. I mean, the rotations for the most part are actually pretty impressive, especially coming from Crazy El Presidente here, the Mesmer from Little People Big World, doing a great job of getting the right plays going. I'm behind you all, going ahead and getting a stealth play for him and his Mesmer here. It looks like they're going to be opening probably on Wakey, I have to assume. They might choose to decide, or they might decide to do someone else. Looks like the Thief from the blue team not able to take a target early enough, so they're not even going to get really much anything going here. Looks like they did decide to go on Toker a little bit late. They definitely could have dropped him a little bit early there. However, yeah, and they're probably not even going to kill him if Toker can go ahead and get the short bow out. Oh, they do manage to take him out, so he is down right now. And it looks like Red Team's swarming him there with the well coverage as well. A little bit more of a defensive play there. Toker going to go ahead and try to get a stealth up, but it looks like right now they're going to try to put some pressure down on Edmonton. Edmonton taking a lot of heat here, trying to get some greatsword leap going to get away from all the pressure, but it looks like right now Red Team needs to kind of pull off, get something going. They're losing the caps. Blue team able to get a 2-cap in the meantime, doing a great job of stringing them out. Able to decap as well, like you say, that graveyard node. And if Chudak can stay sustained on this point for quite some time, where I'm not really sure if he's going to be able to do that, but if he can do it for long enough, we're definitely going to be able to get enough points to kind of catch up a little bit in this time.
Ooh, the Moa coming out on the Phantom coming out from Crazy. He's going to be forced out of this fight. Edison going to be on top of him. He's going to take Phantom into the downstate. Crazy taking the downstate by 5 gauge. Just tossing out the nades right now. Nos going to throw it on the well. So much damage coming out. Phantom is going to get up as Crazy taking fully dead there. Phantom back into this fight. Really good effort coming out from Little People Big World, but just not enough damage. So close to taking out Phantom as a whole. That really would have turned around the entire fight at this quarry node.
I mean, we're talking about the difference of one single critical strike. I mean, that was literally the difference of that downstate fight. Phantom could have been taken down just as easily as the member of the blue team there was able to be taken out. So, I mean, that was huge there, unfortunately, for the blue team, not able to get anything going for them. And because of that, the Abjured is able to full cap Quarry and get some momentum going into the graveyard fight, where they actually take down Song on the way here. Looks like they're going to be able to 5v1 that shoot at, as both members, both Zerker members of the blue team here, I'm behind you all, as well as Crazy, are stealthing up, trying to get their heals up a little bit before they go ahead and open on someone. Chudat trying to get something going, bringing the team away from the spawn so that they can potentially get something going on Graveyard in just a moment's time.
Yeah, really, I have to say props to this Little People Big World team. They have not given up on this game. They have been taking 2 caps, taking out members of the Abjured team, doing a really good job. Props to Edmonton, able to spike down Toker multiple times and take him out. Really good effort coming out from Little People Big World. Still not giving up on this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's technically still in this game. I mean, I don't expect them to win at this stage of the game. However, they're doing a fantastic job taking out Toker here as well. Looks like Toker going to be able to port down, and Wakey going to go ahead and try for the res here. However, a ton of burst cleave comes down from that shatter from Crazy. Still, though, Abjured able to get that res off Toker at 100% health once again. I mean, fantastic job from Abjured, as always, being able to get the team members back up and get them healthy as soon as possible so that they can really be have a really heavy advantage in these team fights here. And we can see the implications of that as they do take out Crazy extremely quickly now, and he's completely dead as they turn now onto Song. Song really getting the worst of it now as he dies yet again here in between this waterfall and graveyard node.
Yeah, the Abjured ultimately going to be taking this game number 2, moving on into the finals, as we're going to see them take the waterfall node and possibly taking the mid as well, as they do spike down Chudat running for his life here. We do see blue team taking the quarry, but despite that, the Abjured are going to be holding on to the waterfall to win this second game. And it was a lot closer than I had expected it to. You know, I had been talking about the Abjured just kind of dominating all the time on Legacy, but for the most part, we saw this Little People Big World, you know, they kept coming back fight after fight, not giving up, and definitely showing us what they can do against the Abjured. The top team on NA, able to put up 280 points. Quite impressive for this team.